every week. So I was attending it. And also we were implementing this course in our second year for the second year students. So I was teaching them also.
Okay.
Yeah, that course is completed previous semester.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, now every week attending the other program. That's totally sharing.
Which one? Which one? The refresher of the ACT is there? That one you're
Yeah.
talking about?
Yeah, refresher course at UHV refresher course attended, and after that every week there is follow-up meetings every Sunday. And also actually I'm the university coordinator, so there is a meeting every Thursday also. So I'm attending that meeting every Thursday. There is so usually regularly attending these two meetings.
Oh, nice.
Sunday meeting afternoon, either Sunday or Saturday, and this Thursday from 3 to 4:30 for university coordinator. That so just to get in touch with this UHV.
Yeah, it keeps you connected anyway. So there is no option for you to be disconnected. Yeah.
Yeah, but I need to implement more it in my life. That's the main task.
That's true for all of us. For all of us, it is true. And it's a continuous process.
Yes.
Yeah. So how is the students' response? Because we are doing it in online.
Yeah, it was good. Actually, the course is completed by last July. It's over from January to July, that semester, previous semester, for even semester students. Yeah, it was very difficult in the beginning, especially to make them aware about this course and get them involved in the content. It was a bit difficult. Initially, for the first, I think, I will say 2 weeks. 2 weeks means almost five classes, minimum of 5 classes. It was difficult.
Okay.
But if they are getting involved and responding to the questions and sharing their experiences, means that way the interest can be developed. So after every class, I was giving them a homework and asking them to respond on this based on the personal experience. And in the next class, when they are coming, and if they're asking in the class also, if they're asking, please share something and what you feel this about this proposal. If you ask like that, we won't get any response.
Okay.
But if you are calling their names and asking them, then they are definitely forced to say something. Yeah, that way, if one student is able to respond in 2-3 classes, means the next session definitely he will come and respond. That way, it was really good.
Yeah, in a group, the group dynamics are different. People don't want to open up in a group and speak. They're all the time afraid that what others think about me and all.
Yes, and also I told them to keep a notebook for UHV. And I told them that maybe I'll ask them to submit this as your assignment. So that was also a very good initiative, because at least they will write something. And after first 1.5 months, I told them to submit the notebook. Then yeah, I could see the way how they are writing, because every day there is a question, the homework also, it was written. And after the completion of the course also, they submitted the book. Yeah, some of the writings are very good. Some of them are exploring, but how they are keeping touch with the content, I don't know. Because I told them that maybe after 4th semester, I'll continue the class later. When you are in the 5th semester, then also I'll ask you to come. Those who are interested, you can attend the class. But last week, actually, I'm their staff coordinator. Last week we were having a meeting, and after that I told maybe we'll restart our UHV class. So how many of you are interested? I didn't get any answer from the class, but some of them messaged me, ma'am, we want to start the class. But that response was very less, 5-6 students. Yeah, we need to develop that.
I think the number will be like that only, ma'am. The five members actually is a good number. The in
5 numbers out of 100.
That is actually not bad. I mean, that's not bad. So I would say, like, even if 5 are willing, we can fix up a time and start engaging with them, because in
Yes,
student community, building certain group who are interested in these things and they doing voluntarily something, because if it is 5, then the discussion can happen when in a very informal way, not like a class teacher and student. So
yeah,
parallelly, apart from the course in a college environment, it's important to develop a group of students who are committed to this, who are ready to work for this. Like the way, you'll always have some students interested in music, some interested in sports, and activities related to that go on, right? So
yeah.
similarly, we need to nurture a group which is interested in this. They will bring more students, their juniors or friends, like that. So I think this is valuable if 5 people are coming forward.
Yeah, that I'll do, because ACT is also insisting to form a UHV cell also with the faculty members and the students. So I think with this 2019
Nice
emission,
thing,
actually
would be, ma'am, with those 5 students, we are not meeting within the timetable or as per the rules or as per the syllabus. So we are meeting at a personal level. So that discussions also can happen very well.
yeah, I'll think of that. Maybe I'll circulate a Google form, and not only for the students from my batch, other batches also.
Very, very fulfilling, man. Even if few people, if we engage with them one-to-one, because in 5 people you can engage them one-to-one. So
Yes,
it
I'll
will
do
be
that.
good, I think. And then after the class or something, even if we speak for 2 or 3 minutes to each student directly, there is a high probability that they'll come to the next class, also feel connected to you, because then there is a personal connection established. They come for you in the beginning, then they come for themselves. So
Yes.
I think it's very valuable to nurture even that 5 people group, I feel.
Yeah, during the course, I found that this particular course is very important in that way, because many of them were calling in between, and they were discussing their own issues, and not only related with the UHP content, but with their other issues also, how to solve this. Usually, some of the students will discuss like that, but this UHV content is actually making us more close to the students.
Yes. That relationships gets
Yes,
established.
yes, yes.
And second thing, I also want to add one more thing. As you are saying, how do you keep in touch with content and how do we continue these efforts and all? The answer to that, what I feel personally, I feel is that it is not about keeping touch with content. Okay, how long we will listen to the content? I mean, how many years this will go on? So if a workshop or a course, if it helps me to start the process of self-exploration in me, right? So that means, I am getting in touch with myself. So I am introspecting myself and looking into it. If this process starts, it won't stop. So the success of the program is in starting this process in the participant, in the other person. If that process starts, then the value of the course, I mean, that's the success of the course. And it is not about getting more information, having more classes, more sources to know, I mean, get some information. It's not that. So this self-exploration process has to start in the student. So in that sense, we have to focus more on this one than covering the syllabus or giving them more information. I mean, it will come by practice. The further years, I'm sure we'll be able to do that. I just wanted to mention that because you cannot have endless courses in BTech on this.
Yeah, but that's really a very good initiative. City has taken that step.
Yes. Yeah.
Very good.
Okay. So we have very few people. Nevertheless, we'll continue. So we are doing very less workshops in the English. Our main focus is on Telugu. But then after we have done, I think only 2 so far we have done the workshops in English. After we have done that, there was a request from some of the participants to have a refresher session. So since it's a small pool, we thought to start with, we'll do it once in a month. That is first Sunday of the month. So today is first Sunday, 5th September, also happens to be the Teachers' Day. So I wish a happy Teachers' Day to everybody. So we have also learned so much from, so many teachers. But then at the end of the day, the real teacher is inside us. Inside us, that's the real teacher, the inner teacher that is always there, always guiding. Only thing is that we have to pay attention and listen to that teacher. Okay. So with that note, so I'll start. So yeah. By the way, before that, anybody wants to speak? Nazir Garu, you want to speak? Venunath Garu, you want to speak?
Good morning to you all.
Good morning.
Yes, I am enjoying these sessions, and thank you for conducting these sessions. Thank you.
Hello, Nazir Garu, how are you? Yeah, Venunath Garu, Venunath ji. Somehow I don't see mic symbol against the Venunath name. So anyway, I'll just continue. So today I picked up this topic, cultivating relationships, some practical issues. How do we handle it? Conceptually understanding things like trust, respect, care, guidance, all these feelings is one thing, and practically implementing it and taking certain steps so that, we help each other, we become better, and then help the other person also in the relationship, that is different. So I wanted to just share some of my insights on understanding this content. How can we implement it further in the life? So we have relationship obviously with family members, relatives, extended family members, brothers, sisters, their family members, uncles, aunts, and all, and the friends, neighbors, wherever we live there are neighbors, and colleagues, right? So we have a relationship with all these all these people. With each one, the focus of the relationship is little different, but the relationship is there with everyone. And obviously there are some problems, right? Some issues to be addressed, or if there are no issues, if you are not fighting, there is a scope to deepening the relationship further. Scope for the relationship can be much deeper than what it is, right? So the thing is, if there are issues, why do we fight? Why there are issues at all? Why there is some disturbance, or some lacking in the relationship, right? Assuming that there is lacking. So I've just this from my side, I'm just putting, many times the issue in the relationship is related to one or two or three categories. The one category is the issue may be money. Two brothers fight for their assets, right? Neighbors fight for certain parking place, right? Family members fight for some jewelry, right? Like that, the physical facility, sharing of the physical facility may be one of the reasons why there is an issue, or a conflict, or some opportunity. There is a denial of some access or discrimination, that other person did not treat me well, other person did not give me a chance to do these things, particularly in the office, right? There is some position and it is given to somebody, it is not given to somebody, like you feel an opportunity is snatched from you, or you are not given a fair opportunity, right? So such thing happens at home also. Why this guy is getting to do everything, why I am not getting to do everything? So maybe a opportunity is one of the reasons for gaps in relationship. Similarly, many times this happens when we don't have the physical facilities issues. The second issue I talked about. The third one is the difference of opinion. See, all of us want to do mostly the same thing, right? All of us wants to be happy, even within a family, right? Can you even imagine that wife wishes or want something bad to happen to husband? Never. Similarly, can a husband think of some bad consequences happening to wife? Never. Similarly with children, and children towards the parents. So objective is, we are wishing, we are working for well-being of every family member. There is no doubt about it. It's beyond the question. So that means the objective is same. right? The objective is same, but the way of doing it is different, right? Way of doing is different. That's what I have an opinion, you have an opinion, but the objective level, we are all the same. So just because, there is the method of doing it, the way of doing it, the opinion is different, that becomes, we get attached to that, and that becomes a question or an issue in the relation. Let's say, you want to go to some place, right? Your wife is saying, let's go by train. You're saying, let's go by car. You're saying, let's start by 8 a.m. She's saying, let's start by 9 a.m. These are very, very, very simple things and secondary importance, not primary importance. But even on that, we make it an issue sometimes, and fight over it, or argue over it. Whereas these are very, very simple things, because at the end of the day, we want our happiness and then mutual happiness as well, right? That is where we have to, I'm bringing some questions. So the objective is important. How do we do is important. Which one is more important? Whether the objective or how do we do? The way we do it is important. Which takes a higher precedence? That's the question I'm putting. Further, the person or the relationship is important, right? Right? Or certain, a certain issue is important. That I'm asking. And then if you are valuing certain method, certain way of doing the things more than the person, we are abusing, or we are having a active difference of opinion with somebody, right? Even though objective of both of us is the same, that raises a question that, am I valuing the person? Am I valuing the relationship more, that issue as the more important? So that is actually disrespecting. We are not valuing the relationship, right? There is a wrong evaluation. That's what the respect definition of the respect. And similarly, we say that no, all that is fine. I actually value the relationship. In fact, what I am saying is for others persons, better for other person. Otherwise, he will incur certain loss and he will lose certain thing. Whatever loss that is happening, that is at a physical level, physical facility level, or a bodily level. But then, if we give that more value to that and spoil relationship, again, we ourselves are saying physical facilities are, a third important. Second is relationship. The first is, right understanding. So just some effect on the physical facility. Is it worth, spoiling the relationship? So these are the questions I just wanted to raise. So then the same thing what we discussed in the workshop, I just want to put it in a different way. So what I'm saying, what if there is one solution for all relationship problems, whether you're in the family members, colleagues, neighbors, friends, there is just one solution. There's just one fix for all problems, with all relationships we have. And it is possible. Let's investigate into that, and I'll explain that part. So the concept of the trust itself, I just putting it in a different way. See, do we make mistakes? Yes or no? Yes. So do we make it intentionally mistakes? Have you made mistakes? Yes, I have made at least, right? And I'm making, right? Every day they happen. Not they happen, I do it, right? Every day I do it. But do I plan to do mistakes and do it? Right? Is the intention is there to do mistake? No, never, in fact, right? Or do we say that, some mistakes I don't want to do it, but it happened because other person has done something wrong. Because of him, I have shouted. Because of him, I slapped somebody. Because of him, I am forced to do another mistake. So what we are saying is that other person has started it. I have not done anything on my own. I am fine. I am clean. Other person started. Others did it. Others said it, and I had to do it. So which means, as a reaction to that situation or that person, we have done it. But nevertheless, it's a mistake. And then we say, no, I am not like that. But then on that particular day, I lost control, right? It was too much for me to take. And you say, that's why I got angry. Or you say, I was already dull, I had so many things going on in mind. I was busy and so many things are there. And at that time, this person comes and asks me this. That's why I, said this. Right. So we say all these things. So we do mistakes in three ways. That one, we are saying we do mistakes, but we are saying that it is not intentional. Second, we are saying I did mistakes in response or in reaction to somebody else. And then we are saying that, I had a bad day or a bad situation, and then I did it. Right. But what is the solution? What is the solution? Right. Right. Intentionally, we don't do it. Right. That is a gone case anyway. Right. So instead of reacting, responding when the other person misbehaves or, unfavorably behaving, right? Then instead of reaction, the response is the solution. And losing control, having too many things, having a bad day, that is the capability problem. So it is our problem, right? I'm having more than on my plate, more than what I can take. So that means, we have to work on ourselves. That's the solution, right? But then what about the other's mistakes when other person is, making the mistake, right? So that way, whatever analysis we did for ourselves in here, that I don't do mistakes intentionally at all. And I do it when other person starts it. And then I do it when I am myself is in a troubled situation. So the same is the situation with the other person. Other person also will never do the mistakes on his own intentionally. He also does it in response to right a bad behavior of others. He also does it because he's already frustrated, already disappointed, already in a bad situation. Right. So same is situation with the other person. Right. And are we able to see this point? Right? Once we see this, that's when we will be able to forgive the other person. This forgive is a very big thing. It requires big heart, right? Even then other person is doing mistake, to be able to forgive, it requires a big heart. And that big heart comes from understanding these things deeply, absorbing what theoretically, conceptually we know it. And then not only we forgive, we take responsibility. How can I improve that person? Right? I forgive. I understand it is his incapability, his incompetency. Now, what can I do for him? That's what we think instead of reacting to a situation, right? So, but forgiving, is it okay? He has done this much. Like, can I forgive? How can we forgive this? So I'm saying, don't forgive for him. Forgive for yourself. If you don't forgive, put it on record and keep it playing in your mind, it is you who will get disturbed. This forgive is more for having right feeling inside me. That gives me happiness. It doesn't give anything to other person. Right? First, what happens is I feel happy. Right? I will not have any, disturbance. But this easier said than done. Right? So when other person does something, when we know that he has done because of such and such reason, and probably some damage happened to us, even then forgiving, right, may not be easy, but then work on it. We have to work on it and forgive it. In fact, all the wars, all the disasters, all the big damages to humanity happened because people were not able to forgive. People are not able to forgive, right? There is the anger, there is big pain inside. If you can let it go, right, and then there is no reason to react, right? So there is small video that you can see later in the YouTube. If you just put Khat, Khat, Khat as video, so it's very nice video. It talks about the forgiveness, right? What is life and what is the purpose, and a grandfather, after going through the entire life, tries to write a letter to his grandson. So that's a very nice video. Please do it. We'll also share it in the group. Okay. So now I want to come to the practical aspect. This much theory, we know it. So what in the practical aspect? So I'm just asking you to just bring one person to your mind, with whom you think the relationship has to be made stronger, with whom you have some issues, right? You have some trouble, or you want to deepen the relationship, right? So just bring one person to your mind, right? And also, even though the relationship is like this, can we list can we list practically, can we list, some of the things I can do to repair and restore the relationship? So there is this person, I do not have good relationship with, with this person. What can I do? What can I do to repair and restore, the relationship with this person? Can I call? I mean, can I talk to him? Can I visit him? Or can I buy something for him? Can I invite him to, my place? Can I talk to his wife or his children? Whatever. So can you, let something he is asking us to let it go? So what all we can do? 5 things I'm talking, if not 5, 3 things. Definitely there are few things we can do in a relationships to repair and make it better. So we are not thinking at this practical level most of the time. The issue is there, the relationship is there. We are just waiting for such a time, or we are just contemplating, this should not happen, not have happened, should not have happened, that kind of thing. But whereas the way you want anything get done, you do step by step. Similarly, in the relationship also, you have to take some practical steps to do to repair this relationship, right? So for example, I'm just taking an example. Let's say you have your life partner, right? And I'm just taking a fictitious example. Let's say he or she doesn't have good healthy habits, right? Let's say overweight or facing some health problems, right? And you want to help, and you're told many times that how certain kinds of foods are good, certain health practices are good, physical exercise is good, but let's say he or she is not listening and following, and it's going on for several years. And inside you have the right feeling, it's right feeling for your wife or husband, and you genuinely want to help. You have been trying, but it's not working, right? So at this situation, we just blame the other person and say that, I mean, nothing can happen with this person, and we just complain that. And particularly when some bigger problem happens, let's say we have to go to a doctor, then we say that, see, I've been telling you for 3 months and 6 months, you're not doing, that's why this happened, all that we went out, right? But what more we can do, in a positive way to get out of this situation? I'm just suggesting one way. It's not that is the way, right? Can we say can we do it by inspiration, right? Even though, let's say you don't have any health issues, you don't have anything, can you, even if you are going, doing a good health practices, can you, let us say, commit 100 hours at least to improve yourself and thereby improving others in a relationship? What I'm saying is that you take up a task which is, let's say, a 10%, 50% more than what you're doing it. Commit to that. Can you work on it, let us say, for 100 days? Just a number I'm saying, 100 days. And show this as an example. This is leading by example, inspiring other person by ourselves doing right practices. You all heard that story of Swami Vivekananda, right? When a mother brings a child to Swami Vivekananda, asking, he just requests Vivekananda to tell my son that not to eat some certain sweets. And Swamiji says that come after 1 week. And this mother and son comes back after 1 week. Again, the Swamiji says that, just says to the child, please don't eat. Then the mother says that, okay, for this much you said come after 1 week. And the Swamiji says, no, I was also eating it. I have to stop myself first before I say this. You see, so that he implemented it first, and then only he said it. Then that it carries certain weightage. It carries certain inspiration in the words, right? So are we ready to improve ourselves, whatever level we are, improve ourselves? We say that I am already fine and doing well. What is so need? The same is the situation with the other person. So what I'm saying, if you really want to help other person, so be an inspiration, right? First, improve yourself. So commit 100 hours. I'm just giving a number, 100 hours, improving yourself in a health aspect, behavior aspect, productivity aspect, in any aspect of your life. All of us have scope to improve. So commit 100 hours consistently, you do it, right? Are you ready, right? Without expecting results through preaching. So what we are trying earlier is telling them words, the preaching, lecturing, that things. So what I'm saying, this is 100 hours of, golden rule for the relationship. So through this thing, what is happening in the first approach is that we are just motivating, counseling, preaching about health, why it's important, and giving some books and send them to health camp, make them join a gym, or giving a gift. If you do this, I'll give you certain gift. We are doing all this, but does it work? Many times it doesn't work, right? What solution two I'm suggesting is that influence by inspiration. So how do you give this inspiration? Not by showing some inspiration video, you yourself being an example. So improve yourself in some aspect. That is important. So that means what actually happens when you do this thing at home, right? In the midst of all this other people, is that it creates certain environment. See, when will a plant will grow? When you get flowers and the leaves, nice leaves and fruits and all, that when the soil is fertile and it is fed regularly. So by one person working for his own improvement consistently provides such environment, basically provide such environment where things can, other people can grow. It creates an environment is made up by behavior of people. Okay, and we do not actively push. We do not push the other person at all. And you continue for, let's say 100 days. The possibility is that other person feels really inspired. He can see that, okay, this person is doing for 2 days, 3 days. I think he'll stop on 4th day, he'll stop on 5th day. That is the kind of observation they make, even if they don't tell you. But once you do it, day after day, and continue it, when the change in impact, change is visible. Let's say you are being lazy, you're not helping at home, let's say, and you actually take certain 2 tasks, 3 tasks at home and do it day after day, the other person says, what happened to this person, right? He's doing so well. And then some you get some appreciation, and then a nice conversation happens, then other person shares why they are not able to do it, right? This is what working with clarity means. So what we do is that when in the solution one, where we are just preaching, when a solution doesn't work, we complain about the other person and we repeat the same solution even though it's not working, conclude that the other person is bad. Whereas I'm saying that the real or the much better effective way is to try this. So this is response and responsibility approach, the approach I'm talking about. So step one is forgive, right? I clearly conclude that other person is lacking clarity, right? I forgive based on that. And step two is take charge, right? I am taking the responsibility here. I understand that the other person is lacking. So if we have responsibility towards the other, we adapt solution two, not the solution one, not the preaching solution, but inspiration solution. We work very hard and we have to. There is no other way, right? If you have a concern, we have to work hard. And in the process, I become better. There is a chance that other person becomes better. And the rewards are much, much higher than effort. It may look like hard work, but the rewards are very big. At least there is no loss, right? If I work on improving myself, what can be loss? And who will be healthy in the solution too? Who will be healthy or who will become better? Of course, I will be healthy. That is guaranteed. And then there is a high likelihood that the entire family, the other person also become better. So that's why this is a win-win solution. So just preaching or lecturing is really ineffective. That's what I wanted to say from my side. Right. Then I'll take any questions, any queries that you may have. Okay. So this is a refresher session, not a regular session of entire content thing. So this the objective of this session is to first put forward some proposals from our side in the beginning, so that the things you heard in the workshop, they come to surface of your mind, and these things are recollected, and then discuss on overall whatever going on in your life, what you're trying to implement, and also ask questions on what is shared today. So now the forum is open. I'm done from my side. So any questions, anything you can ask.
Well, sir, I will start with one question.
Yes.
So we have got all the knowledge. we know so many things. We want to do good, and we start so many things with good intention, but
Yeah.
all of a sudden we lose interest
Mhm.
in pursuing the matter.
Yeah.
Uh, how can we go forward without losing the interest?
So that is one of the problems we face. So first thing is that this is inevitable, right? It is going to happen with all of us, right? So let's first acknowledge that it is the process of growth. The way we learn cycling, the way we learn how to walk, we fall, right? We rise, we get hurt, we take help of other person. That way, in any self-development process, this is a part of it. This is a part of it. It is likely to happen. And over the years, with more and more consistent practice, it is the again sticking to it. For some period, we may be down, we may lose interest and come back. So all these obstacles are part of it. Are part of it. So let's not be very harsh on ourselves when we fail to practice it. We call it self-compassion, right? If some person comes to us, says that I've been every day waking up and walking, and for the last 3 4 days I'm not doing it, I think I'm a useless fellow and all that. If a friend comes to us and says this, so we'll be very compassionate with them and say that don't worry, 3 4 days, even if you don't work, nothing will happen. Now just resume and everything will be fine. That's what we'll say. But let us say if it happens with ourselves, I did something for 1 week, I'm not doing it for, let's say, for 2 weeks, but we'll be very harsh with ourselves. We don't have the same compassion feeling with which we have advised other person. We don't have it for ourselves. So this self-compassion is also very important, and be motivated with what we have done and resume and do it. So what essentially I'm saying is that understand that this is how the process will be, and there will be pauses, there will be going down, there will be inconsistencies. Be prepared for it. Be prepared for it. What is my plan B? Right? Let's say I put an alarm to wake up at, let's say, 6 a.m. every day. When I wake up at 7 a.m., when I do it, what is my plan B? Will I start already feeling down that, okay, today I failed, right? Will I be down, or already prepared that some days I will wake up? As of now, my capacity is this. Some days I wake up, some days I don't wake up. When I don't wake up, how do I plan the things? When I wake up, how do I plan? Let's be prepared with both the plans, and then we can, with these things, things will be positive. There is a higher probability of becoming more and more consistent with our practices. And also it's important that we know these things. We are saying we know these things at an information level. So by whatever is suitable to you, it is important to put the things in practice, right? If possible, in a daily practice. What are the, I've understood certain things, what are few things I want to practice every day. So those practices are important. Even if 50% of the time we are doing, 40% of the time we are doing, those practices are important. We have to come up with our practices that are suitable to me in my environment. So these practices give us energy, right? Let's say I have practice related to my productivity, my relationships, my health, my mental peace and all. The moment I do these things, that gives a lot of energy to go further. So the mistake we may be making is that we are thinking this entire thing as a knowledge, as something I have to understand only, not bring them to living, and not able to translate whatever understand into the actionable items. So if we do that and keep doing this practice, it gives energy to proceed further.
Thank you, sir.
It makes sense, Nasirji? We can have more discussion on it.
Yeah. It's nice to see that we have to practice, and to get motivated, I think we need to keep record also, so that we will get motivated out of it, what
Yes,
we are
yes.
achieving.
Yes, yes. See, it's like this. So when it comes to, money, we put a record.
Yes.
We have a clear
Yes.
record. When it comes to things that are, value, whatever we feel valuable, we keep a record, right? Similarly, obviously, this journaling, like what we call as writing diary every day, this journaling kind of thing, where you self-reflect and, keep a record, that will certainly help. That is one of the suggested practices every day, to just keep a record of ourselves. Take just few minutes. It won't take, more than 3 minutes, 5 minutes to jot down few things. It will definitely help us.
Yes, journaling may be a good solution for this type of things.
Yes, journaling is very important. So I do journaling every day. So I have two columns. I've taken the help from one of my friends. He advised me to follow certain procedures. I did. So I express gratitude for the things that went well and that I've received. And then I also make a record of the regret, that what are the things I failed to do it. And then apart from these two, and what I wanted to, but I've not done. So when I did it, a clear accounting happens. It is audit in a way, the audit of self-audit. We do auditing of money, but we don't do audit of ourselves, right? And then I write some insights I may have, right, of that day, of that moment. And then some results, some affirmations, I write like this. If you keep journaling habit, it will be really good. Certain practices are required. You have to take a vow to continue for some time and then build this habit slowly. It cannot come just like that, certainly. And it takes, good amount of time. I mean, what I understand that if it has to happen with a reasonable consistency, it takes few years, right? Just, mastering a subject like a commerce, subject like, a history, that itself is considered as 1,000 hours of time. That's why there is a 4-year time, 4 years for a bachelor's degree. So similarly, this also will take, good amount of time, effort to master anything, in fact.
Yes, you are right. You are right. Thank you.
Hariharu, good morning.
Yeah, hello, Anita. Good morning.
I think what you've said about rather than preaching to actually be an inspiration or to actually model it out, the behavior. I think I totally agree with it.
Yeah.
And I think it works best in the family context because we are always in such close orbit and we're all around one another. So especially I think it works with children. And Manuku, the previous generation, the way we kind of always would be like lecturing them and preaching them. I have seen in my family and in my experience that whatever I wanted to tell my children about, whether it would be like treating other people well or using less resources at home, plastic paper segregation, whatever I wanted, I think I would talk to them, and then I would also kind of very, very consciously kind of reflect whether I am also applying it, within my behavior. So only kind of just talk to them. We would, as a family, talk, and then after that, not force it or impose it upon them, and just see, that behavior, reflected in us, as parents, me and my husband. And I think now I see my kids, they're all in college, post-graduation, graduation. I think I see a lot of what we started off, when they were young. I see that now. And when we get a compliment, from others that they're well behaved, they're responsible, I see that we have sown the seed, at a young age, and we have kind of been consistent in our own behavior at home. So I think the children have turned out. So more rather than preaching, I think what you said, you have to model that behavior, and that will come with conviction if you yourself apply it.
Yes.
With yourself. So I think I totally agree with what you've said. That's the right way to go, I think.
Yes.
In changing a relationship and in influencing a person in your family.
Yes.
Somebody close to you. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. In fact, you will find that, some habits, practices, which we wholeheartedly have acceptance in, they are there in us and we are practicing. even without without any extra effort, conscious effort, they get inherited in the children, and they come to the children also have it. So the things which we wish that they are there, those things difficult to pass on. So these things we end up passing anyway, some values.
True.
So that
So
comes from our parents to us, also from us, from us to them also.
True. True.
So
That's why they say, you have to be very conscious about what you say and what you do, in the environment, in your home environment, because the children are always watching you. So rather than preaching, I think what we are is what the children learn from us. And even the spouses also. They see our moods, our expressions, and then they know that if you can be calm, then even I can be calm. So I think, what we expect from the other, if we model the behavior, I think to some extent it gets transmitted, non-verbally, I feel.
No, very small things, ma'am. I'll tell you. I mean, my kids are young, so Jagrati is just in 6th standard, 10 years, and Anurag is in 6 years. So the way I sit, right, when I'm reading a book or working on a laptop, I observe that, if I'm leaning and sleeping like this, and I see that, next time they also sitting like that. It's a small thing. No, it's not that, I told them to sit like this and you see how they emulate. They also don't know it, how they are emulating, how things are going on. But they just look at us and do this. Even a very small thing like how do we sit? What do we eat?
Yes.
Right? You drink a water and then drink water immediately. Where are you putting your glass? Right? So then we may be putting sometimes and later clearing it, but they may be putting it, not clearing it, and then we shout at them.
Very true.
So all the time we are creating environment. Once we understand that our behavior is environment for the other person. Like a vehicle passes through and it leaves exhaust, right? So what we leave is our behavior, our imprints. So if that is, we are fixing it, then the nice environment gets actually created. Whereas we feel that the physical environment is the environment. In fact, since you are in education and all, education institute also, ma'am, the entire environment is made up by the conduct of the teachers. Just by looking at a teacher walking through the corridor itself should be a lesson for the, just their presence itself should be a lesson for the students, an inspiration for the students, and not just what they are speaking in the class. So if this perspective change comes in the teachers, it will be really, really good. Then they understand that, okay, and I am creating the environment here. I'm part of the environment here. Same thing applies at home also, at school also. Right?
True. Very true.
And if we are on a path of self-improvement all the time, they understand that, okay, so I have to, there is something called working on ourselves, right? I see, the children see that my mother is taking out some time and spending some effort on this. They see that, okay, all the time, what activity is this? It is not a money-making activity. It is not something, it is an activity. She's already so nice, but still, there is some time spent on this. Even if they don't do it now, there is high chance that it gets registered and they know that, okay, there is something we have to do in an adult life. So if we are on this path, we end up, passing these values. I see that, I'm born in a village and my mother was curious. She just she got child married. I'm sixth in the sixth child in the family. So, but then she is very curious person, right? Even at age of 70, she used to ask about the space, planets, how something can hang in the space just like that. Like my grandfather got her only educated for just, I think, the 3rd or 4th standard. After that, she got married. But then by that time, she learned how to read, how to write, and these things. So she's a good reader. So she used to read even at old age also. She used to read quite a bit, even voluminous in the books also. And I see that habit is passed already. I'm into reading and I'm curious, and all this inclination towards knowledge that is there. But she never preached us, did this thing. so I think if we cultivate these things, it becomes an environment and gets passed to children or the family members. Okay.
Very true. Very true. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, and please share, not that only you have asked questions, please share what have been, happening in life, what have been trying to implement, some of the things you understood, some recent things that happened. Please share. Very few people are there.
This is just maybe one question to you, Harigaru.
Yeah.
Do you also encounter moments of self-doubt? I know you're on a path of human values.
Self-doubt, I don't have much of that. I don't have. I only have this problem. I only have this, right? Certain things are clear. What practices are clear. So the inconsistency, the things that I want to do it, but still I fail to do it. That is the only disappointment or the concern I have, because things are quite clear. Things are quite clear thanks to this UHV, and also it addresses all dimensions. What at a conceptual level, most things are clear, and bringing them into practical life and leaving those things, huge gaps are there. And then every day, the more and more awareness I see more and more gaps. So that is what is my concern. I see that I can do much better than what I am doing, that I am not able to do. That is what disappoints me a little bit, and then is the area of concerns. This self-doubts I don't have, whether I am doing right or not doing right, is this thing, because the conceptual level, at a conceptual level, clarity is there properly. When it comes to putting things in practice, there's a huge gap.
Right. Yeah. And for everybody, it takes their own time and journey to get that conceptual clarity and to apply it in day to day into their own lives.
Definitely. So because all of us are at different levels, the upbringing is different, and going by what is said in Jivan Vidya, also the initial sanskar level, at what stage we are in, it takes different time for different people.
I have actually one question that's related with prosperity. This question actually came during the discussion with one of my colleagues. Okay, usually now most of the faculty members are attending this UHV program. And one person was saying like this, okay, I came to this content and I know how to follow it in my life. And when I talk the same thing, he was saying this, I'm just repeating it only. When I say the same thing to my wife, how can I make her understand? For example, if she's asking to buy, usually for ladies, we always prefer to buy more and more dress. Okay, so he was saying that for him, he will be able to understand how much is his need, and he will be able to restrict on, I'm not going to buy any more dresses. But when he was talking the same content to his wife, he was not able to make her understand about the meaning of prosperity. Yeah, this type of doubts sometimes happen in my life also. I'm not able to make it convince, especially with my children, to say something like if they want to buy a mobile phone. To my students also, the same thing. We are not able to make them understand. The physical facility is sufficient for them, and if they are looking for something more,
So what can we do in this case? How to make them understand about the true meaning of prosperity?
I think if we just talk about issue-based thing, just want to fix that we don't want them to buy something, ask for something. Only for that, if you just give logical explanation, obviously it's not going to work out. Only for that part, right? So we have to have much bigger. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, I'm sorry. There was something urgent I had to attend. Okay, so I think if we focus on only one certain aspect of people buying something or spending their time on phone, there are things like that, some particular habit. I think it will be difficult for us to logically convince anybody on this. I think we have to engage with them on a broader thing about life and this self-explanation process. We have to start and make them contemplate on the things on their own, and this will definitely take time. And when it comes to also we have to see, I mean, are we able to give that much time? Or sometimes, it this person who is saying that he doesn't want a wife to buy something, he really did not. I don't know whether they really mean, the concept of prosperity, does have concern for nature, all these things, just want to save some money. The wife can know it much better than what than us. The true intention, the feeling behind it also is very important. So that kind of concern, if genuinely is there, it gets communicated in a different manner. In any case, what I'm saying is that the other person also needs to open up. What I'm saying, we should be able to open it up and have a conversation. Then only such changes can come. Just like that, these changes cannot come. So he cannot explain the preach just his wife that this is bad, this is good, and all. That is one thing. There is one aspect. Working on self-development of other person, start to be able to start this self-exploration, being, but I mean, rising their conscious level, being more and more aware about everything that we have to work on. It's a continuous process. That is one thing. As a consequence of it, whether the changing the phone model or buying more clothes or buying jewelry, these things they will figure out on their own. Then we can have a discussion about that, because a platform gets established, a common ground gets established to discuss these things. First, that has to happen. A relationship based on which we can discuss these things, that needs to happen first. That is one thing. And the second is that even that happens, right, we may actually have to do certain things. So we cannot do things 100% according to the natural principle that is 100% right. Right, because the things are organized, the cultural practices are there in certain way, and we have to start from here. For example, we know that the bike I'm using, the car I'm using is not good for the nature. But can I switch 100% of my all transportation needs? Can I take care by without polluting? Such facilities not there now, right? What can we do? We can do whatever is the best possible now. So similarly, so we have certain practices, right? See, some jewelry, some clothes, some things are being done in certain way. If we don't do that, it is considered, and we want relationship with the extended family, in the society, everybody. We don't want to hurt people and do this. If there is a way to do, we can do it. What I'm saying is that is also important, that we have to acknowledge the ground reality, what is the current situation, and also travel or start our journey towards a desirable situation. So we cannot just like that switch and stop everything also. So we also buy jewelry, we also buy clothes, and they're required in the current practices to live in a reasonable way with everybody, right? So
Yes,
two things I want to say. One is develop the relationship such a way that these conversations can be had, not convince them by logic. First thing that is to be done, and it takes time. First, the second, even after that also, even if an enlightened person comes and gets his daughter to be get married in certain ways, certain expenses are required, certain practices are required, certain things are required. So whether, if you say whether they are essential and then they have to be done that way, may not be, but then the current practices, whatever are there, still they are not changed, and we want to have good relationship with the people who are practicing them, then certain things we have to follow, and it is not a big deal, right?
yeah, I think there also the earlier principle you told, motivating others, and that way it will work rather than preaching the things. We need to be able to show it in our life.
We have to deepen our relationship with them first.
Yes.
And it's not, it should not be an agenda based thing. So somehow I want to reduce the purchase by that person. That cannot be our agenda. It is about really genuinely working for their betterment. Yeah.
One more discussion came along with this. Actually, this was during a discussion with some faculty members, how to deliver the content to the students. Then only they were asking some questions like this. So this also someone was asking this. If you are asking them to limit our physical facilities and if something like that, then that itself can make them lazy. They may be thinking that, oh, we have enough everything. We don't need to work for that because my parents already, they have the things with them. So what's the need for working? Someone was raising a question like this. So
yes.
yeah.
I don't think we are talking about limiting the physical facilities. Right. So I think it has to be put in a proper.
Not on limiting or minimizing. Whatever is required, it is enough. Like that. Not minimizing means what you feel as sufficient, the actual meaning of prosperity, that way.
Yeah. So this logic, this argument is coming from the fact that only requirement of the physical facilities will motivate us to work. It is coming from that principle, right? So if we feel that we have enough physical facilities, we won't work further. That's what the argument is, right? But then that's where we are trying to expand that small circle to big circle, you see. So the expansion is, it is not just physical facilities in the life, there is a relationship, there is right understanding. And then there's innate need for happiness is there in everybody. We don't have to do anything for that. Every human being has it anyway. Then they understand that the more than the physical facilities, this relationship is there, right understanding is there, and this can come, this then come, the meaning for the life can come when I get to do something meaningful in the life, my role to the society. I think when we talk about the society also, nature also, these aspects also, that particularly with the students who are in the process of becoming a professional, right? Their responsibility, what is their role, that also has to, we have to appreciate. We have to talk about this excellence part, right? How each profession or a particular profession roles an important role in the society, how much we needs to done. Then in fact there is a lot more to be done than merely working for the physical facility. I think that bigger the objective is much bigger than working for the physical facility. In fact, it is making about lasting impact, working on making ourselves better, making our relationship, improve our relationship. This is much bigger task we are giving, not making them lazy. I think we have to put it in a proper manner to the students, like motivate them by putting this excellence concept. What we have understood in delivering this content to the students in our college, also other places also, when we talk about this excellence, it appeals so well to the students. Excellence part against that competition part.
Yes, yes.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, sir. So today's example you told that is just like when a vehicle passes, what is happening to the environment. So
Yeah.
just like that, our behavior can make or can create the environment.
Yes.
That is very example is very beautiful. So
Yeah.
we can assess ourselves every time. We can assess wherever we go in our family or in our workplace or wherever we go. Are we polluting the environment or are we
Yes.
making it better? Yes.
That's very simple thing. Like you go to a shop, you smile. What is so big
Yeah,
deal?
yeah.
Right? It is a
Yeah,
behavior, right? The other person
Yeah,
is
yeah,
supposed to
yeah,
smile, right?
Yes.
You already given him a gift, right?
Yeah, and this is we can spread it or no, it is contagious. If we are polluting, means that is that will be
Same.
spreading.
Yeah, this is also like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's also like that.
Yes,
The
yes.
moment we wake up, as I said, small children, right? So the way I wake them up, I cheat them up and then hug them, we kiss them and energize them. With such a high energy state, with such a high happiness state, they wake up and do all their things in a systematic manner. I just remind them, these are the things that are there. Now they don't even need remembrance. It has become habit to them. That is an environment, right? They're waking up. The environment they get is our behavior.
Yeah, yeah. So I recollected. See, when I was see when my father, my son now he is 26 years old, and now in the initial stages when he was a kid, and I was only there in my family. My husband was not with me. So many households and in career also so many things, preparations like that. So busy. So on in daily I'll be see my son, he won't wake up in the right time. So every morning I'll go there. He is not waking up in the right time. Then I'll be shouting, from the kitchen. I have to rush in between the kitchen and bedroom. You didn't wake up. So I'll be shouting, wake up like that. I'll be then he will be he used to tell at that time, how can my day will be good if you are if you are shouting me, and this how this is no, there is no wonder you wake me with shouting. That's why my day is like that. At that time I can't realize what I am doing. I was thinking that I am doing the right time, because if I am not doing that, he won't be waking up. He will be continuing to sleep like that. Now I can understand all those things.
So at that time also you are working hard for your children, your overall the betterment of the family. But at that time, what do you think is that this job is very important. The money I'm earning it's also for him only, right?
Yeah.
And we will be giving a lot of importance to that, not ignoring out of unawareness. We ignore that more than the salary that comes and the assets I buy for him, my today's behavior is going to impact my child a lot. That part we are not conscious about.
Yeah. At that time we are not aware of it.
Yeah, I being a role model is what actually will make him a better person. So that part we forget.
Yeah.
And
So
otherwise also we are doing something for his betterment only, right?
Yes.
But we forget this part.
Yeah. Actually, that is very much worthy than the other things, no?
Yes, because
that
if you make him a worthy person, he will earn.
Yeah.
We don't have to
Yeah.
for him. Right?
Yeah. So in this, so this today's younger parents, they are now the today's means now we are old.
Yeah.
Now I'm 50 plus. So today's young teachers,
Mm.
They are not only teachers, other every young parents, they are lucky because they are getting these lessons now. Whereas
Very soon you will have grandchildren, so you will also.
yeah, that's what that is the way I wish to compensate.
Yeah, yeah. Grandchildren will have an
Yeah,
opportunity.
yeah. Yes. Thank you.
Any further sharing? Mridulaji, Venunath? We have a few more minutes till 8:30. Mridulaji, yes.
Uh, I was just listening to Lata and Deepa. In fact, we are all colleagues.
Yeah. In the CUS,
They're all-
the Cochin University.
Yeah, CUSAT. Yeah, they are already into teaching UHV, but I have not yet got an opportunity. I am more into the path of self-reflections now. So, I somehow I believe instead of trying to teach others, it's much easier
It's good.
working on yourself.
It's good.
Frankly speaking, sir, when I started attending the UHV program by AICT, that was the first step, and then of course your course, your workshop. I used to wonder why teach all this with these keywords and like how you're teaching a subject. How many of them would really take it? But these words do reflect upon me: the trust, respect, care, and guidance. So just a small incident. See, I'm also in the age group looking forward to my grandchildren. But the other day when I went to my in-laws' place, my niece's kids were there. He was in class 4. So this online sessions going on. The kids are too frustrated with all this. So this boy had forgotten to do some assignment during the Onam vacation, and his mother was quite angry with him. So in fact, then the entire family there, all of them were there, entire family, one after the other, everyone was trying to put the entire blame on the child. Why you didn't do it? Why can't you read Hindi? Why are you so bad in Hindi? You have to work on your subject. I mean, lot of advice is coming from here and there. I could feel the frustration building up in this boy. So I really felt pity on him. So I just somehow this care and guidance came to me, you know. So I just called the boy to my side and I asked him, like, think about the subject. You are so good at it. You are good in English. So he said, I am very good in English, Amai. I can read English. I can write. I said, yeah, so good. So then which other subjects you are good at? So I made him focus on his strong subjects, and slowly we came to Hindi. And I said, you just keep reading every day. That will be all right. Don't worry about the mistakes. You should have seen the smile on his face. Yeah, thank you for the keywords, care and guidance. They are totally different. I realize it now. Like Lata said, I regret I missed this opportunity to attend such classes when my children were growing up. So I wish you good luck, sir. Thank you so much for your initiative.
Ideally, like vitamin supplements, if you are eating healthy food, following healthy practices, you don't need vitamin supplements, right? So similarly, these classes, right? We don't need if everything is happening, properly.
In fact, I was just contemplating whether to attend today's class because I have other programs to attend. Yeah. But then these are all like recharging yourself, these sessions. So thank you.
These are required because for a long time we have not been, many things rightly. So that's why you had to explicitly schedule a class and do it. And there also we're trying to make it as universally acceptable, and then like as applicable to the real life, the practical aspects as possible, instead of attaching it to a religion, or instead of making somebody dependent on a person. Exploring the things and understanding things by self-exploration is the approach we are taking here, and then only we can get into education, of course.
Good morning, Hari sir.
Yeah, good morning, Hemanji. Yeah, good morning.
Sir, one question actually. You told that how should we practice in our daily life. So you told something like that I write a diary, then I do the affirmation, and then visualization for some 90 minutes period. So sir, that I am unable to follow exactly. Can you sir just repeat it for the clarity? Means.
So Hemanji, first thing is कुछ ना कुछ तो practice आपको जो आपको suit करता है, you have to work out. I feel that in this all journey, 10, 15 years of journey, I feel that some practice is required. Whatever suits to you. So I mean, several years of trial and error and all that. So what I've done for myself is that, see, at the end of the day, what you have to do, what is to be done in human values is to increase our awareness, self-awareness. What is going on inside me? What is going on inside this self-reflection, self-awareness? What are the thoughts that are going on? What are the desires behind that thought? Every thought has a desire behind it. Right? If some thought is going on, there is a desire behind it. If that desire is naturally acceptable, then we are in a state of harmony. If it is not acceptable, we are not in a state of harmony. So this continuous watching, when you have a pain in the knee or pain in the back, you go for an X-ray, you scan it and work out a treatment, doctor works out a treatment. Similarly, this continuous scanning continuously is required. But as of now, most of us are not capable of doing a continuous scanning. So what I do is that I take out some time in the morning, because unless you don't do it in the morning, rest of the day, you will be busy with so many things. It's difficult to do consistently for a long period of time. So by trial and error also, it will come to a conclusion that we have to do it in the morning, right? And that is something we have to cultivate. We have to become a morning person, right? So morning, I take out some time and exclusively sit and do contemplation. What is going on inside me? What are the desires that are still there in me, which are in not accordance with nature, not naturally acceptable? See, having desires to get name and fame, get recognition, having to get pleasure from sensory, these are all there in me. And these will be there in all of us to a different degree. Why? Because this is how the evolution is, right? In the evolutionary process, we will be like animal instinct in the beginning, like getting to worry so much about the food, shelter, survival instincts will be there in us by evolution. So at an animal conscious level is getting pleasure through senses and then worry about the survival. So that's why so much attention of ours goes to physical facilities and then the sensory pleasure. And the third thing that comes to only human being is what other people think about me, right? That we want to fix it. We want other people to think about us this way and that way. So the thoughts are related to these three things. Thoughts are not related to understanding the existence deeply and then realizing the existence, making myself better. Only when we are contemplating on this, on the existence and the reality, understanding the reality, then our right understanding gets developed. So for this to happen, I spend about 40 minutes on this, right? On self-reflection, self-awareness. I just sit and watch myself, what is going on, and this helps me to filter, the desires that are not naturally acceptable. That is one thing I do. And sometimes I spend about half an hour spent on physical exercise. It's very important, particularly most of us are doing desk jobs, just sitting at the table and walking here around. More than that, there is no bending, there is no this thing. So physical exercise I do for half an hour. So I'm just saying physical exercise, whatever suits you can do. You can do running, you can do on some gym equipment or yoga or whatever that is required. So I spend every day reading something. So self-awareness, exercise, reading, and then journaling. I do that, writing a journal I do. And then one or two other things that, there are certain things which I want to follow. As of now, few things are on higher priority and I want to follow. Let us say, like, I don't want to react with anybody for today. So no reaction, right? Response, right? Behaving this way or cutting down on certain eating habits or things. So few things I take, actionable items which will have a good impact. So that I repeat, affirm. This is called affirmations. Because we know so many things. Which one I'm working on now? Which one I'm going to work on next 3 hours, 4 hours for this entire day? What is the target, the goal, the major outcome has to be very clear. So today, let's say I want to reduce my phone time by half an hour. That is the thing. So that I affirm. Affirmations I do, and visualization also. There is this philosophy that says you already visualize what you're going to do, right? Which means you already seen it doing in your mind, and that is more likely to happen like that. A director sees the movie before the audience, right? Like that, we have to see the movie. So these are the practices. All these are called in a nice sequence called savers, which I explained earlier. Silence, affirmation, visualization, exercise, reading, and scribbling. These are 6 activities. I do it for myself. I try to do it every day, but consistency is not that. That is the only worry I've been sharing in response to question of Panita ji. I'm here to get the good consistency in that. So the plan B I have is that when I don't do it, it requires 90 minutes. When I don't have it, I have a half an hour version, I have a 20-minute version, I have a 6-minute version also, right? So that the mind is trained to not skip it and do it. So Hemanji, whatever suits you, you can work out on your own. आपको जो भी पसंद है, कि ये सब अभी क्लियर नहीं है, अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है, नहीं कर पा रहे, तो आप जो भी अच्छा लगता है वो स्टार्ट कीजिए, या कुछ एक्सरसाइज से या रीडिंग से, whatever. But some practice, some time dedicatedly for your own improvement. You take that commitment.
Yes, sir, actually, I am asking because sometimes we again go back to the same stage. It's means, for example, I decided to change some habit, some behavior, as you told on higher priority. But what happened that after 4 or 5 days, again, you revert back to the same stage, sir.
Okay,
Then,
you restart again, right?
yes,
तो शुरू में नहीं डे 1 में ही आपको ये पता होना चाहिए कि ये कंटिन्यूअसली नहीं होने वाला है.
हाँ, राइट.
हाँ, अभी उतना कैपेसिटी नहीं है. 5-6 दिन के बाद वो ब्रेक हो जाएगा, फिर रिस्टार्ट के लिए भी तैयार हो जाइए.
Yes, and sir, from reading, sir, what do you suggest, sir? Which one to refer? Because I usually follow the notes on the slides which we have shared in the.
Have you read this English book on human values? The 2nd edition is there. Have you read through that?
Sir, which one, sir? Which book?
जो अभी हम whatever workshop we are giving, whatever the course, human values course that gets offered, so there is this English book, foundational course on human values. So I'll send you the link.
Okay.
So, you know the Ganesh ji, right? Ganesh Bagadia, Sanji. So all these people, 3 people together.
Yes, sir, Ganesh. Yes.
So three people together, they have written a book. So that is the standard book that is followed in all the universities and places. So,
okay.
So whatever content we are covering, so this entire thing is explained in very detail in that book. That is a suggested reference book also.
Okay, sir.
So,
sir, for example, as you find that you have not performed some behavior up to your expectation during our self-awareness, then, sir, how do you, sir, give feedback, sir, to yourself?
So that's a good question. In fact, so what happens is this is a very natural process, Hemanji. What happens is that the moment you become aware of certain thing, right, the diagnosis itself is the treatment. Here, the moment you're aware of about it, the intensity comes down. It will still be there, but how much you are attached to it, how much it is there, that will comes down. So again and again, you keep a watch on it. Now you know that this is there. The fact that I know it now, I know it, not at a conceptual level, but I have seen it, that this is there inside me, the thoughts that are going on inside. Once we watch it, that actually stops for a moment, and the intensity also, comes down. And little bit of analysis, once you find that this diagnosis, after you take the X-ray, you look at it where there is a problem and all like that. When you through this watching yourself, you'll find that where I am getting stuck, which impurity, which issue is there in me, which is causing the disturbance. You identify and work out a solution. So for example, let's say I'll tell you, like let's say, the thoughts of, getting more name and fame and such things are, coming back again and again. Let us say, if I look at it and I can see, okay, this is what is there. I'm just telling myself that it is not there, but it is there. That's why the thoughts are going on. So you work on it, and you work on it in the sense that you don't take any further initiatives to to get more name and fame. In the things what you're doing also, you organize in such a way that the main intention of the design of the program is not to get, name and fame. That is vairag. I mean, they say you still do it, but not with an attachment to get, more, a name and fame. Like similarly, let us say you have thoughts of, let us say, getting sensory pleasure from the food. Now we are aware of it. You make such arrangement, like uska availability come kar dijiye, like the habits, you can work on it, right? And be aware that, this is there and this is going to happen in next 1 hour, right? There is a pattern of doing what we do, like maybe in the lunchtime we eat it and in the snack time we eat it. So you can plan and work out bit by bit on changing these habits.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Got it. I'll try again.
So that's 8:30. We're almost done. So every month, first Sunday we'll meet again. So unless there is any question, we'll end the session. If there is any question, we'll take one last question.
Okay, sir. Good day. Bye. Thank you.
Azizji, thank you. Thank you. Anybody have any?
Thank you, sir. 1 second, just 1 second, sir.
Yeah.
See the book you are referring, that is a foundation course on human values. The authors that is R.R. Gaur and
Yes.
Rajul Asthana and G.P. Bagaria. That G
Yes.
is for Ganesh.
Ganesh. Yeah.
Okay.
The first name is Ganesh. The last name is Bagaria. So
Okay.
Bagaria, yeah.
I couldn't find that Ganesh. That's
Ganesh
why I
word in the
asked.
authors. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So have a good day and see you next month again, first Sunday. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.